So up next is Hannah Patenaude, a PhD student in radiochemistry. Her presentation is titled The Rhetoric of Nuclear Power and the Power of Nuclear Rhetoric. Hannah.
In our age of climate crisis, we are desperate for a clean, reliable source of energy. Nuclear energy is a strong contender, but struggles to maintain a spot in the lineup as it falls under the shadow of weapons, poor waste management, meltdown accidents, and ultimately the state of nuclear rhetoric. While I spend most of my time playing with uranium in hopes of saving the world with advanced nuclear technology, I know that what I do in my lab coat can only go so far, unless I'm able to talk about what I do and explain why it matters to me to anybody who's willing to listen. For that reason, I've begun to study scientists' perspectives through the lens of social sciences, specifically communication studies. In 2018, I conducted a series of interviews with nuclear experts across the United States to explore what they think of nuclear energy and how they make sense of their roles as scientist citizens. 4 primary themes emerged from these discussions, the first being risk and safety communication and subsequent perceptions of that risk, the role of government and policymaking on where the nuclear industry directs their efforts, the value of public education and engagement in nuclear decision-making, and ultimately the gatekeeping nature of cost and fiscal limitations on the development of new plants and maintenance of old ones. Some interviewees approached these topics with a one-way or monologue perspective, while others valued multi-directional or dialogue approaches to these discussions. Opinions were not homogeneous within the group, as no one was fully monologue or dialogue, nor did all of the experts agree within any one particular topic. I plan to continue this work through industry-wide surveys that can better explore these perspectives in hopes of ultimately being able to provide everyone within both the technical and public spheres with a seat at the table. One expert stated that generally scientists are well trusted, but when it comes to nuclear, there's mistrust. So how can we begin to build that trust back? Perhaps by being able to equip these experts with tools that will allow them to begin having these important discussions in ways that they can approach both confidently and compassionately with any audience. For this reason, I have constructed a nuclear communication certificate that can provide those tools. We discuss Aristotle's artistic proofs that include ethos, or your overall credibility and trustworthiness as a speaker, pathos, your ability to use ethical emotional appeals, and logos, or your use of logic in the form of context that's meaningful. We discuss the value of personal narratives and storytelling, not to just convince, but instead be able to explain complex concepts and find shared values that can help them develop interpersonal relationships and ultimately build trust. We explore the spheres of argumentation and how they can serve as bridges between these spheres where the translation of technical information to the public occurs, and also the integration of public perceptions in technical scientific decision-making. Most broadly, we are teaching these experts about the importance of the history of nuclear on modern perceptions. Specifically, nuclear technology's birth in the Manhattan Project, repeated power plant accidents, problems with the nuclear fuel cycle like Yucca Mountain, and now its role in combating the global climate crisis. It's imperative that they understand the role and relationship between nuclear and justice as being key to building a brighter future for everyone. It's my hope that we can encourage nuclear experts to strive for justice for people, for the planet, and for clean power production. Thank you.